Welcome to episode 60 of the We All Serve podcast. No, your eyes are not deceiving you. I am here alone tonight. My friend, my brother, Angel Torres, wasn't available to join us this evening, so I'm doing this one solo for episode 60, and I cannot believe we've made it that far. 60. It seems unreal. I just mentioned to our guests that are going to join me in just a moment offline that I'm told that we've got some fans, some people tuning in. I see the numbers spiking up right here. So thank you for giving me the honor of sharing just the incredible opportunity to talk with some amazing guests each and every week. We indeed do have some great conversations in store. And it really is all about service. And I know that tonight will not disappoint because we've got some fantastic folks that are indeed all about service. One of whom I've known for a bunch of years now. And coincidentally, actually, literally just prior to scheduling this interview, I had already actually sort of circled back and gotten back in touch. So we'll talk about that again, a nice relationship over these past few years from my other show called Get Down to Business, and another guest who is all about service. And it's my honor and privilege to finally meet, long overdue to meet. But tonight is going to be a call to action. Tonight, there's going to be an incredible opportunity for everybody to get involved. And that is what this is all about. We all serve. It is not just about those that put the uniform on. And by the way, I do think that's probably why Angel didn't join us tonight, is I think he's getting nervous for this Army-Navy game, and he just knows go Army, beat Navy. So I think he's just scared to be on the screen with me. But I know Mike Kelly, who's going to join us in just a few minutes. He's hopefully neutral in his professional position. He's an Air Force fellow himself, and I think that he's gonna keep us on track. But with that, just a reminder to all of our friends, fans, viewers, and listeners to please make sure you press subscribe, rate, review, and share. It certainly makes it easier for people to find the podcast that, again, is all about service. Whether you're currently in uniform, whether you have been in uniform, or whether you are serving in your community. And God knows we need every single person that we can in and about the community, making a difference, certainly in this day and age more than ever. So with that, I'm going to bring our guests on the screen over here as I just share just a very quick bio, because I know I want to hear it directly from them. But there they are. Absolutely thrilled to be joined by Mike Kelly, Assistant Vice President of Military Advocacy at USAA. Yes, you've heard their ads on TV, but there are real people behind those ads. And Mike, along with his team, they focus on key veteran and spouse issues, including navigating the transition into the civilian workforce, entrepreneurship, financial readiness, and more. I can tell you firsthand that I've had the pleasure of getting to know Mike and so many folks from USAA, and they really are committed to service. And AJ Orr, a U.S. Army veteran and founder and CEO of Simple Plan IT. AJ is an award-winning author, IT security expert, and founder and CEO of Simple Plan IT, a technology and digital risk management company. AJ joined the Bunker Labs community to give back and support the veteran community. He's part of Bunker Labs' Ohio leadership team, where he helps to mentor other veteran entrepreneurs and connect them with the resources that they need to be successful. So certainly a theme that we're seeing over here of wearing the uniform and continuing to serve. And I will say finally, before I turn it over to them, that we've had our good friend Todd Connor, founder of Bunker Labs, on this program, and just a true hero, amazing fellow. And I just love watching what he's doing right now with his beautiful family. Mm-hmm. So with that, it is a pleasure to have Mike Kelly and AJ Orr join us over here. Gentlemen, thanks for coming on the podcast.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So I want to turn first to you, Mike, because as I mentioned in the intro, I've known you for a bunch of years now, and we've talked on so many different priorities that I know USAA has dug into, research trying to make veteran service members, family members' lives better. So quite simply, how are you, my friend?
Doing wonderful, and absolutely great to connect with you and see your smiling face, and we share a common bond in our baldness. So this is going to be a great conversation.
That's right. And I will say, Mike, it's funny. I've had you on my radio show, as I mentioned, in Chicago. But interestingly, when I had you on, if I recall correctly, that was before serving in the military was even an inkling in my mind. And
Exactly.
that reminds me that I've been on the air now for over 8 years, because I've now been in the Army for over 3 years. So I've actually known you for quite a while. So it's good to have you on this episode, and now we can share our common brotherhood of not only baldness but also service.
Absolutely.
So AJ, welcome, and thanks for joining us. I guess you are in Ohio.
I am over in Columbus, Ohio.
Columbus, Ohio. So I actually just spoke to somebody that's in Toledo, and I understand it's been snowing by you.
Patches here, there. They're getting it more further up north in Toledo than we are down here in the center of the state. But yeah, winter is upon us.
Well, thank you again, both of you, for your continued service. So tonight we are going to talk about a new initiative that I know both of you are super heavily involved in, and it's called From Service to Startup. So who would like to just introduce the concept?
I don't mind jumping in. Thanks, Shalom. Actually, as a not new military service member, 3 years. You're familiar with USAA, that we were founded by a group of Army officers in 1922. And actually, they came together to solve a problem of insuring one another, because no one else would insure them because of the risks that they took. So we've continued to innovate the past 100 years to be there in service to the military community. And really, our vision with this initiative, as we celebrate our 100th anniversary, is to inspire, invent, and build a better future for USAA's members and our employees. So as you mentioned, it's called Service to Startup. And in celebration of our 100th anniversary, we've partnered with Bunker Labs, and we're going to focus on a pitch contest across the country in 6 cities. And we're going to help find and fund the next generation of veteran entrepreneur.
That's awesome. That is fantastic. And I know, AJ, you are an example of that. So AJ, if you don't mind, I want to get to know both your stories of service, because I think through that we will understand why you are passionate about From Service to Startup. So AJ, I know you served in good old Army. How long were you in? Where did you serve? Tell us high level about your time in uniform.
So I was a communication specialist in the Army. Did 4 years in, and I loved it. And then after I got out, I realized that there was a struggle with the transition. And I tell people that the military did a great job of taking me as a civilian and turning me into a soldier, but not so much preparing this soldier to enter back into civilian lifestyle. And so I bounced around for a lot, just trying to figure out and find my way. And I really fell into entrepreneurship. I wasn't looking for it, but I tell people the core values that the Army instilled in me at a young age are what led me to being a business owner and starting a business, because I just want to do right by people. I wasn't after the fast money or anything else like that. I was really after, how can I be of service to people and help them solve a problem with the skill sets that I have? And that just led into entrepreneurship. And then I got involved with Bunker Labs because, I heard the message or the statistic that 22 of our brothers and sisters commit suicide every day. And I was just looking for a way that I could give back and get involved. Because I understood the struggles. There was a lot of, it took me almost 3 years to acclimate to civilian lifestyle after service. And so, I understand that sense of depression and hopelessness. And if it wasn't for, strong faith and family backgrounds, I could have been one of those. And so I was looking for a way that I could give back. And I realized that, if somebody's walking up to the ledge, I'm not the best person, because my enthusiasm of, hey, you can pull yourself up by the bootstraps and you can make this happen. And you've got more to fight for. And that's not what people don't need to hear that at that point. point in time. And so what I was looking for was, how can I prevent somebody from walking up to the ledge? And so Bunker Labs to me was the perfect marriage, because now I can help a veteran entrepreneur or veteran that has an idea that says, hey, I've got this idea that I think I could turn into a business. Great. Let me take my experience and what I know about running a business and all the lessons that I've learned. Let me help you so I can help you bring this idea into reality and give you purpose outside of the uniform. And so to me, that's why I got involved with Bunker Labs and why I'm super passionate about it.
That's awesome. And I ask this of all of our guests on the show, and often we spend a little bit more time on call it biography tonight. As I mentioned to our listeners, there is a call to action. There's actually a really cool startup contest that's going on, and I can't wait to get people involved. But AJ, I ask this of everybody. Tell us about your best friend or greatest mentor while you were in uniform, somebody that really made a difference for your service.
It was probably one of my first platoon sergeant, Sergeant Elliott, and he did a phenomenal job of pulling me aside and calming me down, in the sense of slowing my brain down and getting me to realize, here's how you focus on things, and here's how you can attack things, and here's how you can be methodically approach things. So basically what he gave me was and I didn't realize at the time, was a structure for project management. And that's really how I started my career in the private sector, was in project management, because I understood, okay, analyze what are you trying to accomplish, and then reverse engineer it. And he's the one who really kind of started me on that path years ago, to get me to start thinking that way and thinking outside the box and looking for different ways in which what I'm trying to accomplish can fail, and then creating contingencies plans and strategies to overcome those things should those things happen. And that's project management at its finest.
Wow, that's powerful stuff, and we are definitely going to come back to that entrepreneurship piece, which, as you know, I'm very, very passionate about. But Mike, over to you, my friend, Major retired Mike Kelly. You have your time in uniform, a little bit longer, I think, than both AJ and I. So tell us about your time in service.
Yeah, a few years. I was a punk kid from Pittsburgh, 17. I enlisted. I was still in high school. Joined the Air Force. Performed very well on all the tests and could have qualified for any job in the Air Force, but they decided to make me a security policeman, so a military policeman. We share that common background. That was not what I wanted to do. I did it very well. I got promoted early, and it was at Homestead Air Force Base in Florida in 1980 that I started doing some work for the base newspaper, taking photographs and writing stories. And the person that really had an impact on me was the public affairs officer there at Homestead Air Force Base, Colonel Mike Warden, now retired, who saw something in me. He believed in me, and he got me transferred from a critically manned career field into a overmanned career field, public affairs, because he was willing to make an effort, and he believed in me, and he made it happen.
That's awesome. And I mean, Mike, sticking on your story for a moment. Again, I've worked with you over the past bunch of years, and I follow your social media feeds, your LinkedIn, and I see everything that USAA is doing, but I also see your passion. I know that this is not just a job for you. I know that at USAA, and the reason you're spending your night with us tonight involved in yet another initiative is because this is so much more than just a job. This is something that you care about. So what is it about sort of this addiction to service? How did you catch that bug that you just can't let go even after you took off the uniform? And I mean, I will say, you are able to grow your beard. I mean, I can't, but you can.
I had one during COVID, not anymore, but I think it's really part of the military culture. It inculcates you with that desire to serve. So I was in the Air Force for 25 years, and I was heavily involved in community engagement and volunteering, and I just think it's part of the nature of the people who serve in the military. I mean, we know that roughly 30% of all veterans serve their communities through volunteer work. That's 3 times the level of their civilian counterparts. So it's all part of, I think, that military culture that creates that attitude of service in people. And my personal approach, I consider myself a connector. And actually, this will make great sense to you. And I think we've talked about this before. There's a book called Be the Mensch. And a mensch is a Yiddish term that highlights an individual who is altruistic, who is knowledgeable, who wants to connect people to opportunity. And that's really my life approach in the military and since I've left the military. And that's why being a part of USAA, it has such a noble mission, and our ability to serve military members and their families. It's another way for me to continue that service that I started way back in 1977. I'm more than 40 years ago.
Amazing, and thank you for your continued service, because it's really making a difference in so many people's lives. And now I'm actually recalling a conversation where you told me that you've been trying to learn a little bit of Yiddish, maybe it's Hebrew, and we've got to pick back up on those lessons. We gotta start doing that, but that's for another podcast,
another time. Yes,
another time indeed. So AJ, I mean, back over to your story, and this will lead back over to from service startup. So definitely, you are an entrepreneur. You certainly have that entrepreneurial bug, but again, right now you're spending the time, instead of maybe involved in an activity that can, call it, make you money. You're dedicating the time, much like the folks that have come and have helped you, and you're dedicating the time to helping others. So, what was it about your military service, about your Army service in particular, that sort of prepared you? You mentioned your NCO, your sergeant that sort of taught you. It sounds like those fundamentals of project management. I completely can relate to that. But what was it about that military career that was a good transition? We often talk about the challenges, and indeed there are challenges, 100%. But what about the positive things?
I think the biggest thing that the military gave me was, and it's one of the reasons why I serve the way that I do, is because I just like to solve problems. I'm just really good at solving problems and identifying them. And so whenever I look to serve, for me, it's just a matter of identifying there's an issue. It's like, okay, how can I help solve that problem? How can I give back? How can I sow into this situation, and be a blessing and help somebody else, where prevent them from going through some of the struggles that maybe I went through in the past. And so I accredit the military for that, because kind of what Mike was saying. Whenever I joined in at 17 as well, which is odd enough. I enlisted a month before my 18th birthday, so that's how I was able to get in. But I went in at 17. I was a young punk kid myself. Didn't have any direction in life. Was full of potential, but lacked really focus and direction. And that's what the military gave me. It gave me the tools that I needed to be focused, to be disciplined. And, I tell people, the military took this undisciplined, cocky, arrogant, hot-headed kid and turned him into a well-disciplined, focused, goal-driven and productive person and human being, and good person in life. And so that's what the military did for me. I can never talk highly enough about what the Army has done, and just being able to give me opportunities, because it opens doors, and it gave me a family. Not that I've got two brothers and a sister, but my family now extends beyond that, because I tell people I can go anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world, and as soon as they find out I'm a veteran, then I have brothers and sisters that I can lean on, and to me that's invaluable.
It's huge. So let's talk some statistics. There are more than 2.5 million veteran-owned businesses in the United States, which that sounds like a great number, but that accounts for just 9% of small businesses in the United States. We just closed out Small Business Saturday, and again, when we're talking about those skills, those tools that AJ you just talked about, you would think that actually we should see more. We should see more veteran-owned businesses, folks that are coming out of the military and able to, again, you could do anything. You're coming out with the best skills, the best training, and you talked about those project management pieces. So we want to see those numbers increase. So Mike, back over to you. I know that as part of USAA's 100th anniversary in 2022, that's where this initiative is coming from. So let's talk about it and why you and your team are so passionate about increasing that number.
Yeah, our former CEO, Joe Robles, who's a retired Army Major General, he said that the future of the company is going to be driven by innovation. And our current CEO, Wayne Peacock, he was just recently interviewed in Forbes magazine, and he said that innovation enables us to serve our members well today and tomorrow, so that we'll be as relevant the next 100 years as we have been for the last 100 years. So our goal really is to kind of inspire that entrepreneurial spirit and give veterans and spouses and children of veterans and spouses an opportunity to pitch their ideas and bring them to life through our partnership with Bunker Labs, because that's where their expertise lies.
100%. And I mean, I see it on a regular basis in Chicago, certainly. I mean, the Cranes is always talking about Bunker Labs and the businesses that have been launched, and which is incredible. So now there is a 6-city pitch contest to showcase, celebrate, and support the next generation of entrepreneurs with a focus on veterans and military spouses. AJ, can you tell us about the 6 cities and why you're here telling us about it, and the amazing grand prizes that are available?
Yeah, so as you said, it's a 6-city pitch competition. I don't have the list of cities off the top of my head. Mike, might you have them? Or
Yeah, it's Los Angeles, Austin, Texas, Chicago. Got to include Chicago. DC, Seattle, Charlotte, and San Antonio is where the finals are going to be.
Of course, a little biased over there.
Yeah, we got to bring everybody back to the mothership.
Back over to the mothership. So AJ, that's great. 6 cities over there. So the prizes, I know the grand prize is $100,000, and then there's $180,000 in additional placement prize. That seems like some really good opportunities for some startups to develop out of this competition. So what's involved? What do people need to do?
get registered and sign up. Find a location that's close to you and get your idea ready. And I'm telling people here in Ohio to start practicing your pitch. Let's get comfortable and let's prep these guys, because I would love to see some of that money come back to Ohio. Because you're right. I mean, this could be life-changing for a business. If you win the regional or one of the 6 pitch competitions, then that's, I believe it's $10,000 for the winner there. And so just even if you just win $10,000 that goes back into your small business, whenever I was starting out and I just started my business, those first 5 years, if an influx of $10,000 can make a huge difference in how I can expand, what I can do. And so to me, I'm telling all of my guys, hey, this could be the lifeline and the stepping stone that you need to take your business to that next level, to take it from a side hustle to, hey, this is my full-fledged, full-time deal, because you're getting exposure. Not only are you getting money, the opportunity to win money, but you're getting exposure that you normally wouldn't have access to as well. And so there's a lot of peripheral things that come out of this whole competition. Not only the fact of increased exposure, the opportunity to win money, but now you're going to build your confidence, because now you're talking about your product and service in depth. You're refining your pitch and everything else. So to me, there's so much positives coming out of this. I'm super excited about everybody that's going to participate.
I know there's going to be some awesome ideas that are going to come out of this, and I'm excited. And fellas, I mean, if this turns into a TV show, something like a Shark Tank, if I'm able to apply, I want to be Mr. Wonderful.
Yeah, I want to add to what AJ said. It's companies like USAA that are looking to invest in these new businesses, right? So innovative approaches in business for us. We're an insurance, a financial company, right? So we're looking for financial technologies to invest in. We're looking for insurance technologies to invest in, and that's connected cars and homes and safe driving, monitoring of your driving abilities, if you will. So there's lots of companies out there who are looking for that next new company that's going to help them provide better services, better support, and better advocacy for their members, us, and customers, other companies.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's the key. And I think that if anybody remembers one thing out of this conversation, it's that step up, step out. Because the reality is exactly as Mike Kelly just said. There are so many investors that are looking to find you, and they're looking for your talent. I mean, certainly we talk about it often in terms of employment opportunities, and I know that both Bunker Labs as well as USAA are certainly heavily involved in supporting both veterans and spouse career and career development. I just had a conversation on that a few hours ago. But then we need to revitalize that entrepreneurial spirit, and we need to make sure that we get the best and brightest talent in our nation, which are coming from our veterans, out there into the workforce, because we know that those amazing ideas, those entrepreneurial innovations, that work ethic, and that commitment to community. So not just about bringing in another dollar, but folks like AJ that are going to be here, late at night and talking about paying it forward. We need more of those ideas. So if you're in one of those cities, or frankly even beyond, you need to learn more about this competition. And in a moment, we'll make sure that folks learn how they can do so. But you need to do this, and frankly, for everybody that's tuning in, and it's great to see some of the comments and some of the reactions. It's always fun to see emojis. Share this message with somebody. Encourage them, help them, coach them, because their idea, that service, can become America's next startup, and we want to see it. So, AJ, how can people actually learn about this competition and actually get this process started?
I would say just go into the Bunker Labs website. So it's bunkerlabs.org. And on there, you'll find a link to their events page where you can actually go and find out more information and get signed up for it.
That is awesome. And is there a timeline for this, Mike, that you can share? What's the timeline for this? I know USA's 100th birthday will only last for a short enough amount of time.
Yeah, so it's open now. Anybody can gather information and get registered. But Los Angeles is the first event, and that is in February of 2022. Austin follows in March, Chicago in April, Washington, D.C. in May, Seattle in July, Charlotte in September. And then the big finale, where we'll announce the big winner, is going to be in November, November 10th, actually, just prior to Veterans Day. So it's no secret that we try to integrate all of these activities and initiatives to draw attention to our veterans.
That's fantastic, and I noticed what you did there with the schedule is keeping the snowy season, keeping folks out of the Midwest. I get it, Mike. You don't want to visit Chicago during the winter. I see it.
I've been there. I've been there before.
I know. It's no fun. I get you. Well, with that, I mean, I'm just so excited about from service startup and the opportunities, and hopefully we'll see a lot of ideas pouring in. And no idea is a bad one, because the only idea that's a bad one is the one that you're keeping to yourself, and the one that's not being shared with our country. And we need it. We need ideas, and we need things getting started. So we want to hear the pitches, and I can't wait to follow this and hopefully feature this many more times on We All Serve. And hey, Mike, maybe we'll do something and bring some of the winners on, and I know there will be some of the most amazing talent that will come through. So I'm excited. Again, go to the Bunker Labs website, bunkerlabs.org, where you can learn more, not only about From Service to Startup, but also so many other great initiatives that are taking place, including in your own community. And I will say this, that there's many folks like an AJ Orr that are out there that are establishing the Bunker Labs brain trust in the community. And you can expand it. AJ, do you know off the top of your head how many cities Bunker Labs is in right now?
We've got 40 chapters across the country.
Wow.
Yeah, 40 chapters. So amazing. As you said earlier, just a brotherhood, a family that's developed right there in cities around the country and around the world. And I can't sing the praise of Bunker Labs high enough. And Mike, finally over to you. Any final comments from the USAA front? Anything else that the final word goes to you, of any other resources that you want to talk about?
Well, first I want to highlight the incredible work that Bunker Labs does. I mean, part of innovation is connecting with the right people to get the right things done, right? So that's why over the last several years, I mean, USAA has philanthropically contributed almost $2.5 million to Bunker Labs so that they can do what they do best, and that is equip veterans to build their own business. So they've got monthly startup incubators, and it gives veterans, spouses, and family members the resources they need to grow their business. And that's really, we want to see success across that whole military community. So that's why we partner with organizations like Bunker Labs, and we're very, very happy to do it.
Oh, that's fantastic. Again, I've learned a lot, and cannot thank these two gentlemen enough. AJ Orr, retired Army, Mike Kelly, retired Air Force, both folks dedicated to continuing to serve and make a difference in the lives of those that have served. And indeed, we all serve, and that's what this show is all about. So as I always say in each and every episode, you don't need to put a uniform on in order to make a difference in your community. The main thing is getting up and getting involved in some way, as I always say. And my wife loves to make fun of me on this, but there's no they. Never rely on anybody else to get something done. If you see a challenge, get up, and especially now in this time of COVID, in this challenging time, please make a difference in your community and inspire the rest of us. Please get in touch through social media and share those stories. We love to highlight it on this show. And speaking of the show, next week we will be joined by the leaders of an amazing organization, Pride Industries. Pride Industries is an amazing contractor for the government that's employing individuals with disabilities on installations such as Fort Bliss, which I love. And I've seen these employees, and I've wondered for a long time about the social impact driven organization. And I'm so excited to speak with, again, all retired military leaders of this organization that are mowing the lawn and providing so many public works support for so many, I know, Army and Air Force installations in particular. So very excited to share their story and talk about that social impact next week when we continue our conversation on episode 61 of the We All Serve podcast. So that's a wrap for us. Make sure you subscribe, rate, review, share. It makes it easier for people to find this episode. And with that, I'll wish, again, Mike Kelly and AJ Orr, thank you again for joining us. Have a good evening,